Yo, what's up there guys, it's Immersive Gamer 83 and thank you so much for stopping by. Today we're going to be jumping back in to Gravity Sketch and carrying on with the Corvega V8 Atomic, or the Atomic V8, I'm not quite sure which one it's called, but yeah, we've got some good progress to show you, so we'll just be loading in a moment. And yeah, we're pretty much getting to the point now where we're just about to, well, we're nearly finished the car actually, so still got quite a bit to go, but the actual form is very much complete. The lines are solid. There's still some anomalies here that I'm going to be clearing up in Oculus Medium once I export it, but overall the lines I'm very happy with. Everything's looking rather nice, so it should export pretty well. And I need to finish off the front here. There's a few pieces that I need to go through and tidy up, but overall the actual vehicle is coming together very nicely. And this has just been created mainly off the back of this third angle projection of the vehicle here. And you know, I've tried to be as close as possible to replicate what I saw. It's not perfect. There's going to be some anomalies because I've not measured anything. It's been from eyeballing and just lining up pictures as best I can. So there are some things which do need fixing, some objects here which, you know, require a bit of touch-ups and gaps, and you know, so it is very much not fully complete, but overall the actual form of the car is coming on very, very nicely, and we're almost at the point of exporting it into Oculus Medium. So what I am going to need to do is actually have a look at the undercarriage. So we have got, I've just had a look on the old Google, and I've had a look at some other images just to see other pictures from other angles, and you know, try to get pictures of the inside to see if we can get this is not the Corvega, but this is from a 50s lowrider. So this picture here, oh, wrong one. This picture here is a rough chassis of what to expect, you know. So if you can kind of imagine how that would fit onto the vehicle, I'd imagine it would be very similar to that. You can kind of see the rear axle and things like that. So I'm not going to go into mad detail, but just overview what you kind of would see. So at some point I will be creating that, but might not be today. And another thing I want to try and do is line up where this rear wheel arch would be. So at the end of this point here, the rear wheel would be around about there. So I do want to try and start closing off the bottom, if that's possible today. So it should be relatively easy to actually do that. I do need to change my ink color as well to a darker color, so I can actually get some lines put in there. And that looks a little bit thick, to be honest, so we can get rid of that. Make it a bit smaller. And I'm just literally going to be drawing a very rough line from here over to here, minimizing the amount of nodes inside the space, and that should then enable us to get a perfectly parallel straight line, because I can move the whole thing after I've done it. So there we go, very rough, very sketched out line there, but once I click on that I can actually edit the line and reduce the amount of points on there until it is a perfectly straight piece, and then it's just a case of lining up what you see. So I can gradually move this around, and if you can actually work on a super large scale as well if you want to. So it's just a case of lining up each individual point, and you can do that separately or together. So I'll just move that point there. This point here can disappear, making the bottom completely rigid, and on this point here I can attach that over there and just start segmenting off the car, because I'm going to be leaving space for actual wheels to be attached as well. So that looks grand, and because the line is pretty much what we want, I can actually grab the piece and then we'll make a clone of it there. Nice. So now I can actually move these around and do the same thing really. So we can edit this piece, we'll go on a closer scale, we'll add that over there, we'll add that there, and then that's in place. So using the original piece here, I'm going to keep on cloning this one so I don't disrupt this line here, so I can just keep creating from that point there. And again, you know, I can go in and grab individual points without removing the other side over there. Once I've imported it to Oculus Medium, I'm going to be doing something called kit bashing. So I'm going to be using a select amount of parts, so you can actually import OBJ and OBX files as well. So that should be nice. And yeah, once we've actually started getting pieces in together, we can roughly skin it off again as we did before. And I'm going to select a colour which I've used before, so probably the darker colour. Yeah, we'll do that. And we can change the angle of attack like that and scale it to a point where we feel comfortable. And this line here can be bent and flexed according to how we set this, so we can make it more flexible or less, you know, make it really changeable. But for today's purpose, we're going to reduce that curvature and try and hit it as straight as possible, and we can reduce any of the middle lines down, making it perfectly parallel in a moment. So there we go, we'll skin that piece there and we can start editing. So all of these central nodes, probably apart from the last one, I can delete out, and that's going to keep the form of it perfectly straight. I'll probably do the same with these as well, so I can reduce out these pieces and just keep the last edge ones. Very nice. And we've just got the final points over there, but before I line it up properly, I'm going to piece it there and clone it. And once I've cloned it, I can use this one for here and then drop this one over here and start patching it up. And it will just be a case of going in there, editing the nodes, zooming in just a little bit so these corner points snap in, and so they look okay. Again, I could probably remove that one there as well, it's not important really. So we'll have that one tucked in the corner and remove. I don't know if I can actually, I don't think it will allow me to remove that one, unfortunately. But that's fine. There we go. That'll do. And we'll do the same over here as well. You can turn on mirrored lines as well, so if you want, you can work on you know, the car, and both sides will be amended at the same time. Yeah, looks pretty good. Probably sink that in a little bit more. And again, this isn't perfect. I'm aware it's not perfect, and it doesn't need to be honest. It will generate a relatively decent model in Oculus Medium, and that's kind of all I'm hoping for really out of this. So I'm looking for the rough approximation of where the wheel is, so it's just off of this rear part here, so around about here. So we'll put a little point down there to mark roughly where it is. Let's have a look. So yeah, around about there looks good to me. So yeah, there. What I might do with this one, because it's not got a reference point on it, I might actually work on it in as a mirrored piece, and that should now create a secondary piece. So what I'm going to do is delete that, and I can create just another quick line. Okay, I need to change colour. Yep. And we can start from that point, which was just near the edge and slightly in. The wheel actually comes to just a little bit afterwards, so about here. So we can start off at the edge, say there, and just work it all the way across till that joins in the middle. Lovely. That is, in fact, that's where I want the gap to be, so I can grab that and move it over and approximate where it will be. That looks around about right, and we can edit the line again, and we'll reduce the nodes right down. And this center line is actually quite helpful because it does actually match itself up for you, which is very handy. So let's have a little look to turn it round. And a good thing about this as well, you can actually flip the image, which is very helpful. So even if you've got the wrong side, you can actually turn it so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, it looks good to me. And this point here is not quite straight, so we'll move that. Lovely. And this piece here, we can just grab that and slot it in like so, and I'll just amend that piece as well and start clipping it in. It starts to be a lot more of a solid object. Okay, so we can see that that line's not parallel, so we can amend that as well. Okay, looks good. And we can have a little look at the back. The back does have some differences on it, but just for now, I'm trying to think of the best way I can actually skin that piece. I think I need to make an approximation where the axle would finish. So how deep would that go in? I'm going to just guesstimate that, to be honest. So I'm just going to use some rough lines and I'm going to mark it off. So what we will need though is to work from the center point, which we did get that a moment ago, and we can add a line from here and add it all the way along. I'm not concerned that it's straight there because I'm going to reduce the nodes on it again, decimate a lot of those nodes. Boom, and we can just clip these together, making it into a solid piece. Okay, yeah, it looks good to me, and we can actually work off of that. So I'd say go from approximately there to about there. Yeah, that'll do. And I'll use this piece to gauge the size for this gap there. So it doesn't have to be amazing, but you know, anywhere in the ballpark will do. So we'll say there. Ooh. I can delete some of these out as well. So those lines there will just, in fact I might delete that one and I might just freehand it. Right. We'll use that as a scale. We can come from here. Oh, bit of jump there. And we can start moving pieces around. I really do like this functionality. It really does help clean up the lines and make them very nice. Okay, quite like that. We can work an arch from inside there. Yeah, we definitely can. And we can edit this line here. And oh, wrong piece. There we go. This one here. That's the one that I wanted, thankfully. And I should be able to just start adding pieces on there. So we can add a point. Good stuff. Doesn't have to be perfect again, so that's fine. Yep, and on this piece we can edit it again and actually start where the cut off. We can start adding more nodes on there. Lovely. Yep, looks good. And I should have done it mirrored really, but it's a bit late for that now, but oh well. And we can actually do the same with this one. Oops. There we go. Okay, very good. We'll amend that one so it joins up on the corner. Probably make it a bit skinnier. And do the same for these ones here. Okay. That looks pretty solid. I like it. So we've got a rough arch that we can build from that. So this piece isn't going to be super skinny, so I can also just add another line in here. Oh, got some jump there. I'm not completely lined up with my base stations, but it's fine. I can work around it. Yeah, looks good. Very nice. Add a little piece in there. Still black, I think, so we need to select the colour. Nice. And we can just skin the gap. It's quite difficult to do it on quite a small scale. There we go, that'll do. And amend these pieces. Just a case of clipping them in so they fit quite nicely. Seems like just a little bit of a blind spot there. I can delete a lot of these. A bit of a clusterfuck down the bottom there. It's not very good. We can just drag these ones out. Probably delete some of these out as well, actually. And what I could do for extra effect is actually add a slight bit of an arch on that and make it so it doesn't look so... although that I might need to do that across the whole part of it then. I can round that off in medium, I think, so I'm not going to do that. I was going to round it off, but I'm not going to now. Okay, so we'll make things smaller. And adjust that line. It is quite a lot of trial and error, this is, and you know, as I say, I'm not the best with this software, still learning it, but I am quite happy with how it's going, and it is a lot of fun. Yeah, it looks pretty good, and I will just start skinning along here, sweeping the angle in, and then sweeping back out. And we can try and, as best as possible, just clip everything in. You can kind of see how it wants to hug the center line and just attach the seam together, which is very nice. Because these ones are all on a level plane, I can actually delete these points out, and I know then that it's going to be pretty decent, although not 100% perfect. And I can do the same for that one. Clip that piece in there, looks good. Parts of this as well, you can actually tuck it in, like some of these form lines are not perfect, and that's fine. and that should be doing the same on the other side as well, so quite efficient. So I really do like this software. The software is 23 Great British pounds, which you know, is not the cheapest VR application there is in the world, but still you do get a lot of functionality for your money, especially if you are into art and you want to have a shot, an attempt to, you know, make some assets. I'm trying to work out why that's not going up there. I might need another little section there, so I'll undo my work. I'm trying to think what I can do with that. I think I need this piece more over. Yeah, so I'm going to just use another piece, and I'm going to add another segment here. Ooh. And then just edit this piece accordingly. Some of this ugliness is kind of hidden away inside, so you won't see all of it, which is good as well. So then when we take a look at it, we've got a little bit of curvature on the bottom, not too much noticeable there. And we can also, once we've imported this into Oculus Medium, they've got a smoothing tool. So once it's imported as a solid block, we can actually just smooth that right out. So what I'm going to do now is drag everything together and just have a little look at it from afar and see how it looks. Looks okay actually, doesn't look too bad. Could probably do with this being actually straight maybe. Yeah, we should probably do that. Doesn't look that good like that I thought it might, but we'll move it over and delete some of these lines like that, and then from this point there we can see that that's where the line should actually go, and boom, we can, yeah, much better, and that was relatively easy to sort out. Yeah, that was good. So now we need to start working from kind of inside, which is a very strange feeling, because everything feels like you're actually inside it and you can touch pieces. It's very odd. So what I'm going to do now is go back to the tool here. In fact, I might try and clip that in just like so. Hide some of that nastiness. And then I'm going to try and actually add a rough approximation of where the arch is going to be and what it would look like inside. Probably something like that. Or would it be an arcing line from this corner to that corner? That could be interesting, so let's have a attempt at that. And even if you do a sloppy line, which, let's be honest, you know, it does happen, even if you do a sloppy line, you can always move the line that you've created and edit these nodes. Even just a case of reducing the amount of nodes can make the world of difference. Yep, that looks okay. This actually has come out alright, to be honest, better than I was expecting. That did it mirror? Yeah, it did. That's good. Okay, so while I'm in here as well, I can, I'll undo that error. There we go, and I will amend and close up this little bit here. That's probably half the work as well, is noticing where you've not completely filled in the gaps. Even though it's not perfect and I can see over here there's gaps, sometimes it's hard to fix, and some of it not even worth worrying about, to be honest. Okay, so again I'm going to use the skinning tool and I'm going to go in, maybe reduce the size just a little bit, make it a bit more accessible. So I could actually try and do it in one piece and just kind of rotate my arm and then just peg it all in afterwards. So we'll try that first and see what happens. That's not bad, you know. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. So we'll edit the lines and clip them in, add in where I need to. Okay, so this is the centerpiece, which is probably going to be the most awkward. So if I start dragging down the corner, that's actually gone pretty well. And then this is the edge. Yeah, so it's not perfect. I'm going to need to fill that. I can probably amend this line actually, and then make it work. Right. Yeah, looks good. And then from that far corner here, I can come over and just drop that in as well. And you do always notice the gaps. So for this one, I'm just gonna straight up arc it over, kind of parallel like that, and we'll see how we get on. I can already tell you there's going to be a problem here. Okay, yeah, it looks pretty good. Nice. So we're kind of left with a little arch there, and it's poking out. But again, we're going to edit that piece so it all works well. And these bits, I'm just going to hide them and tuck them out the way so you can't see them. make sure that there's not any real gaps there. A little bit there. Just push it up as close as reasonably possible without poking out the other side. Yeah, looks good. Decent. So we can kind of see how that looks now. I'll try and get the shadow in there so you can kind of, when it's all the same colour, it's hard to see. But yeah, mirroring it works on both sides. So now I'll be able to slot a wheel up there when I rig it and drive it in Modbox. Decent, so that's a fair bit of progress. I'm just going to save it and have a little look in the comments. Not sure if we'll have anyone in, but it's worth a look, I suppose. Six marbles in the house again. Oh, what have we got? Haha, Brosif Stalin. Yep, definitely got the Movember going on. So, nice one. Always a pleasure to see you there. So, trying to work out what the best thing to start on next would be, really. I mean, these are going to be left open as windows. There's a few pieces that do need filling in, which are quite intricate. I'm not sure whether it would be better to actually just import it and do it inside, because these bits are quite profound and they stick out a lot. These bits here actually do lift up quite a bit, and there's like a little bit of an angle thing on the one on here. You can kind of see that in there's a few pictures. Probably that one, I think. Oh, yeah, you can kind of see how pronounced that is. So that's quite a lot to come off there. There's also a separate piece here I need to add in, which I kind of just spotted, to be honest, which is actually from this line. Not sure what the best thing to do is, but we'll have a look at that. Try and sort it out another day, maybe. I reckon just get it pinned up and import it, and then see what we can do. You can add lots of texture, and you can do kit bashing and negative kit bashing as well. That's quite a bit of a complicated process, but it's not too much trouble. I need to try and work out where the center point is for that. Just eyeballing it now, so that's not going to be perfect, but it's coming on okay. Yeah. So I'll make that bigger, and I'm going to try to do it in a skin section. So wish me luck. looks terrible, but again, everything is editable, which is the dream. It's actually quite a difficult piece to maneuver as well. I might try and reduce that down as well. We'll see how this goes. I'll start from the drawing board with this one because it's fucking terrible. Come on. Alright, fuck it. Let's see how bad that looks. Doesn't actually look too bad. But I do feel like... Oh shit. There we go. It's not too bad. Let's have a look. Especially from afar, look. That looks okay. And then I want this back piece here just to be a slightly little bit bigger. But I also want it to be parallel. which is not the easiest thing to do. So things are at least finally starting to come together. Okay, that looks okay. We'll go back and scale it up again, and this time we will try and skin this piece. Boom. And we can clip it in again. Okay, and we'll start trying to add these secondary pieces out. Hopefully once I've pulled all the lines out, they should start clipping in, and if we need to, we can add more lines in, more nodes I mean. Okay, so we'll zoom right back in, and haha, yeah, that looks decent. Yeah man. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Should be able to add another one of them on here as well. Oops. What the fuck am I doing there? Ha. Alright. Let's have a look. Try and get rid of them. It's not what I want. Won't even let me delete that piece out for some reason. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try and back that up. That didn't work. I might try and make it bigger. I can pull and push that inside medium, so that's fine. And now I'm just going to roughly skin off this last piece. Bit of curve on that. And I'm going to try and go straight through there behind it. But we'll see if that's possible. Oh no, I'm going to try that again. Terrible. We'll end that there. Clip it in. Boom. I'll worry about the middle in a minute. Yeah, it looks good. And this middle line can be deep. Haha. Yes. Sweet. Oh, hang on, I'll undo that. Yeah, that's kind of probably as good as I'm going to get it. Without ruining it. Yeah, it looks alright. Boom. And then we can sweep this whole piece across. And edit. That's fucking ghetto. But it kind of works, so it's fine. We'll leave it as is. We'll hide these little pieces out of the way. And it's all going to be tucked in very nicely. Okay. These pieces can be dragged out. Boom. Quite rough. Could actually add them on top, you know. Let's have a look how it works on the actual design. Kind of does sweep down over, don't it? So from this corner, it kind of does go down and out to the edge of here. So yeah, I could pin it up there. I'll delete that. Boom, boom. Right. And it kind of goes in a triangle from this corner. But then, you know, it's not perfect, as I say, and I can do a couple of other bits in the other application. So that should probably be fine. I think it's coming out pretty well considering it's been drawn freehand. Actually looks alright. Right, let's have a little look and take it in. Very happy. I'll get a bit lower, too high. I'm going to reverse reach that. Never going to work. I'm hoping that the edit will be fine and it will just clip in. Huh, take two. Right. Nope. Other one. There we go. And that one. Kind of got the rows mixed up there. There we go. I'll probably delete that. Sorry, I'm a little bit quiet, but I'm kind of getting in my flow, you know. Okay, so that needs amending. I think it's the other side. So it's inside that corner in there. It looks a bit dodgy. Yeah, there we go. Oh, no. Ah, it is that other one. Bastard. It's one of the good things about this. You can kind of work on super detail, you know, like, and get proper in there. But the closer you get, the more imperfections you see, like this one. It's just something that, you know, some of the things that you actually see, some of these small imperfections, like, got to try and locate it again. Here it is. On the grand scheme of things, that's nothing, but, you know, this application, you can even work down to the atom nearly, you know what I mean? It's mental. If you've got enough time, you can make shit perfect. But I actually haven't got enough time, so in the grand scheme of things, that looks good enough. There we go. So there's the shell of the car then, guys. Got part of the bottom completed. And the actual form, including the lights, which was a difficult bit, which I was kind of worried about, actually looks pretty good. See if I can get some shadows going in there, see if it's hard to see. But yeah, that's it's not bad at all. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it wasn't too boring for you. I know I've not been the most conversation, you know, not the most conversation for a stream, but hopefully you enjoyed it, and I do hope to catch you on the next one. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care. Goodbye.